Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Find Your Wise podcast. We continue our second half of conversation with Randy, so I hope you enjoy it. So, going to your book, your title, Pain to Power, is a little bold. What does power means to you now? Yes.
I even put it in bold letters.
Yes. Yeah. What does power means to you today?
Yeah. So before I came up with that title, Pain to Power, I had 3 titles. And I didn't know which one. One of them was going to be from, because I was raised in the projects. So one of my titles was going to be From the Projects to Pastor. The other title I had was, they all had a little emotional grab. One was Projects to Pastor. The other one was Pain to Pastor. And then I came up with Pain to Power simply because I want my message and value to reach everybody. Yes. Some people will see the word pastor and you get different reactions. True. Some people elevate you on the status. Other people don't want nothing to do with you. So I did not put the word pastor in there. I made it Pain to Power. And power is everything you've been through. Power is walking out of darkness that I once lived in to help others find the light. So there's a lot of power. And I seen a quote the other day on social media, and it said, power is those who crawled out of hell and brings back buckets of water for the people who are still there, right? Yeah. And I that was that image, bring back buckets of water to bring some relief, turn off some fire. I like that image. But power is walking out of darkness and then helping other people find light. Power is when you stop hiding your scars. There's a lot of people who won't show their scars. So I think there's power in the point. Power is stop hiding your scars and then use the scars to help other. Power is the ability to face your own past and lift up others. Power means to take the worst parts of your life and then God will use those to heal others. Now, everybody, because you're human, nobody gets in and out of life without damage being done. You got to die to leave here, man. We're all going to have issues and problems, no matter your economic status, your political party, where you come from, or any of that stuff. Everybody's going to have baggage, problems, and issues. How you deal with your stuff, how you deal with your problems and your issues is directly connected to how you feel about the person in the mirror. So when you start healing and raising back up your self-esteem and all that, you just handle everything else a heck of a lot better. And that's power. That's power in healing. So you have what you call surface level issues, and then you have what you call root causes. So a lot of the self-destructive behavior or addiction or porn or acting out or cutting, a lot of the self-destructive behavior is a symptom of a much deeper problem. So you got surface level issues, and then you got root causes. Most of the root causes are going to come from childhood. It's going to come from mommy or daddy issues. It's going to come from abandonment. It comes from fear of not being enough. It comes from shame, depression, or guilt. It comes from insecurity. And then whenever we have wounds that never get healed, wounds do not disappear over time. They go underground. Yeah. And they go underground and they come out in symptoms: porn, drinking, using, ditch parties at 14 years old. So these wounds, almost all wounds. I've been doing counseling for 25 years. This December 13th will be 25 years I've been a counselor. Almost all wounds come with a lie. So wounds gives the enemy access into your soul and puts a lie right there. So unaddressed wounds always come with a lie, and here's some of the lies. I'm too broken. Nobody will never want me.
I'm not enough.
I'm not enough. That's good. Those are lies. So when you're doing work with me or with somebody else, part of healing is to understand that the truth will set you free. But before it does, we need to identify the lie that's holding your spirit hostage. So we need to identify the lie and then replace it with a truth. Like, I am God's child. I am a new creation. I am here for a purpose. So there's truths to replace the lie.
So what lie did your pain try to make you believe, and how did you unlearn that?
That I will never, ever amount to anything. That was my lie, that I will never. Now, I heard that first from my grandmother.
Yeah.
And other family members. I was told that before, you're never gonna amount. And they didn't say it nice either. It was with cuss words. What they were. Let me paraphrase what they said. You will never amount to anything. Now I've heard that a lot, and not just from the family system. In the neighborhood, little girls I try to date, you'll never amount to anything in the hood growing up. Now, the subconscious mind does not learn by logic, it learns by repetition. So if you hear negative statements enough, you start to believe them.
Yes.
And the lie that I heard, Yvonne, was that I wasn't enough and I was never gonna be enough. That was the lie that was tattooed on my heart for a long time. And like I said, doing work with Dr. Ron Holland and doing work with Marco Pardo, who was my main guy, and then I had different other sponsors throughout my recovery journey that I've done some deep work with. And deep work means just addressing outside stuff and then dropping deeper and deeper, then identifying the lie. And now the truth is that I am somebody, and I am enough, and I do have worth, and my life does have meaning, and I believe these. Here's the real power: is I actually believe that I make positive contributions and value and to impact lives. So now I believe my purpose is to impact lives, and I want to do more. That's part of my motivation for writing the book, is to influence people I'll never meet. So now the idea was, how do I change lives and provide hope to people I'll never meet? Well, there's social media, there's being a guest on podcasts, there's books, and I'm sure maybe at the end you'll put my contact information.
Absolutely.
You never know who wants to do some individual sessions with me. I have package deals. Like I say, okay, look at man, let's start with the small package of 4 sessions, one time a month. We'll agree on the price. At the 4th session, we're going to reevaluate where we're at. If you feel like you're benefiting, we'll continue. If you feel like you're not getting anything, no hard feelings, you go your way, I'll go my way. And that's it. So that's my small package deal. But my lie was, I am never gonna amount to nothing. You know what, Yvonne, is after meeting people such as your guys' beautiful souls, that was actually common. There's so many people that actually had the lie, the belief that they were never gonna be anything in life. I didn't know this because my world was this small, my heart was this small, my soul was this small. And then I started meeting other people that felt and that came out of it. So that's what happened.
Yeah.
So you believe that pain has a purpose, or is it what we do with it that gives it meaning?
I'm sorry. I was thinking, say that one more time.
Okay. So do you think that pain has a purpose then, or is it that what we do with it that gives it meaning, or maybe both?
Yeah. What an awesome question, man.
Yeah.
I think there's and let me go the opposite direction before I
Yeah.
develop that answer. I think there's nothing worse than meaningless pain.
Yeah.
And I do think pain has a purpose, but we do have to apply it and use it to fulfill the purpose. So I think pain, you could, there's so many people that have pain and they're not doing with it. They're letting the pain define them and
Yeah.
actually call the shots in their decisions. Their pain is telling them who to avoid, your ex, grandma, your oldest kid. Their pain is making decisions for them. Don't go out during the daytime. Don't get a job over here. Stay nice and small. So people have pain, abandonment, hurt pain, but the pain is trying to discover its space, its power. So there's other healing than just emotional pain, like mindset, for us to start lining this stuff up to put the pain into the power for a
Yeah.
purpose.
I love it.
Yeah. Just love that. And what's one piece of wisdom that your past gave you that you carry with you today?
Well, the one piece of wisdom that my past has gave me, probably don't quit.
That's a good one.
I think that's a simple wisdom tip is don't quit. Probably that there is a divine force, a God that loves us and looks after us. And my pain, my past pain, gave me wisdom. Like if you if you could survive this, then oh my God, man, the world becomes Disneyland. If you could survive tragedy and pain, the
Yeah.
the world becomes Disneyland.
That's
So
that's
I
profound.
and one more thing. I think the pain that I have been through, and through meeting many people and counseling many people who have similar stories, I think the pain has opened me up to that pain is normal and it's part of life, and not to be afraid of it, because when somebody is in pain, we become self-absorbed. We
Yes.
think when you're in pain, your whole we think the whole universe centers around my pain, my feelings. Our eyeballs go inward at the pain, and we think that we're the only ones going through what we're going through. And something, a piece of wisdom that pain has gave me, is that pain is part of life, and that our job is to the way to survive life, or the way to win in life, is to mentally prepare to carry a load.
Yeah.
I never thought about it like that.
Yeah.
Now, I know when we've talked before, and you mentioned a little bit so far about your mom and your grandma.
Yeah.
But was there any person in your life that saw potential in you before you saw it in yourself?
Not when I was using the
No.
cat lady. No, it's
But
the
you know what? Maybe she saw
maybe,
something in you enough to say
Yes.
something. Now, whether that was
or,
divine intervention or not, if that was
very
if
good.
that was her bus stop, she'd seen you before. Obviously, she had
Yes.
been watching you, so maybe she did. I don't know. I'm speculating, but
Yeah, that's fine. I'll speculate with you that's a possibility. I'm very open to that stuff. I'm very open that there is a spiritual aspect to life that cannot be denied, and that
Agreed.
God operates on and functions on levels that the human mind cannot grasp. We cannot completely capture God and human concepts, and He's above all categories of human understanding. So for that woman to say what she said at that particular time, that I am definitely open that she saw something in me, or God did, that I didn't
Yeah.
see in myself. But like from a family standpoint, no, man. And then the community I was in, not really. But when I got clean, and sober and started entering recovery, I became a member of 12-step groups. And attending 12-step groups, there were guys, older guys. I've been attracted to wisdom at a young age, and there were older guys that had what I want in terms of wisdom, and I would jump in their back pocket and then constantly listen. And they would see more in me than what I could see in myself. And they would say the words. They'll say one guy, Big Les, he passed away in 2007, but he was the first one to put footprints in my heart. And what he said was, he said, Randy, it's so much easier to work with somebody that has the determination. That's what he said. And I, those little words of positivity and encouragement was like oxygen in my soul. I could breathe a sigh of relief. So there were people in this process, and still do see more in me than what I saw in myself. But active addiction, no. Early recovery, middle recovery, and now where I'm at, yeah, I definitely have people who believe in me that there's more capacity than I'm aware of. So with Yvonne and Indira, I think we have limitless potential inside of us.
Yeah.
I think we have capacity within us we're not even aware of.
Yes.
And the more you develop and grow, the more you'll have access to open up and release the potential within us. But
Yes.
you have to grow and develop. In order for life to get better, you must get better. If you want to, if you want a better life, you first must become a better person.
Yes,
How you
correct.
become a better person is through growing and developing. Okay, if you're not growing and developing, you spend a lot of the future living in your past. And
I'm gonna have to
so
steal that saying. I love that. I'm gonna steal that saying from you because I love that.
Oh, I got more. Well, we just getting started. It's gonna be a part 3. No.
Let's do it.
Yes, for sure.
So that's my answer. Yes, not using in the dark world, in the dead world, but in recovery. Yeah, I've had men pour into me and believe in me before I believed in myself.
And I imagine those words really help you to go through that process in a better way, because they're instilling in you belief that they see that you couldn't see at that moment. So now experience from the other way around. What has been for you to use your story into service? Now you're pouring into all the people that are in similar situation that you were.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What was the question? The actual question?
Yeah. What's it been like to turn your story into service, to helping others?
Man, and so I became a 12-step member in a 12-step recovery group program. I still go to, that I went to repeatedly, religiously. I started being asked to share my story. I started seeing how my story was healing. I started seeing how my story became somebody's counselor, somebody's therapist. I started seeing how my story provided healing, inspiring people, and hope and change. Then, at about 16 years clean, I got 25 now. About 16 years clean, I started getting ideas of the actual book. If I'm having this effect on such a small crowd, there's more people. I want it to be wider than just people in recovery. So I wanted to inspire people that never had a drug problem, maybe have some other hang up or self-destructive behavior, mothers of a drug addict that the son passed away. I wanted to impact, and I had a desire to change lives. So I started using the story, my story. It's in the book, a lot of social media. If you guys follow me on Facebook, TikTok, or Instagram, I put clips all over. I explain some of my counseling techniques, and then I do individual stuff on Zoom because most of my clients don't live where I live. I got seven clients that I coach and counsel right now. I got room for 10, but right now I got 7. And Indeed. When Yvonne brought that question up about pain and purpose, so internal reward is great. That's what I get from using my story it's not just my story. So everybody has a voice, everybody doesn't have a message. I have a skill set, a counseling techniques, a communication. I love being a community with the story.
Yeah.
So there's an internal reward plus a life of fulfillment. So sometimes people will ask me, how do you know, or how do you get a life of fulfillment? You get a life of fulfillment when you're living the way you believe you were born to do. When you're doing what you believe you were born to do, that is fulfilling and rewarding. That's what I get.
Let me tell you that it's the first time that I hear that in the simplest way possible. That resonate with so many people, because people feel the fulfillment is outside, and put it up to the sky, but you put it in the simplest way. I love that.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. I would guess that it doesn't feel like it now, but were you ever afraid to tell your story and be really vulnerable? And like, how do you navigate it now differently than you used to?
Yeah, very deep. Yeah, that's a powerful. Yeah, that's a great question. And the reason why I'm so vulnerable and transparent is because I have freedom. And there was a time. So again, Yvonne, I have 25 years clean, but I've been attempting to get clean for 31 years.
Okay.
So I've relapsed on went back to the darkness for 6 years. Okay. After being introduced to recovery, it took 6 more years of tasting pain and banging my head against the wall. And I was ashamed to tell my story. I don't want to tell anybody I got high with my mom. I got high with my dad. I've been to prison with my dad, in prison with my brother. My grandmother sold heroin for 40 years. I don't want to tell this story. The growing up, the household always said, what goes on in the house stays in the house. All these family secrets you take to the grave. People think they're taking secrets to the grave when the secrets are taking them to the grave. Through vulnerability comes freedom. It takes courage to become vulnerable. People usually respect gets raised as a result of somebody's courage to get vulnerable. Now, in the beginning, after 6 years, that's when I had trouble freeing myself by telling my story. When I came back, January of 2000, my mom, I was ready. I was so sick of myself and my secrets and my story. I was ready, boy. I started telling my story quickly, but I would leave certain parts out. And the reason why I would do that is because I had to consider my mother's feelings, my grandmother's. My grandmother's passed away now. I was clean for 4 years before my grandmother passed away, and I never mentioned that she was a drug dealer until she was gone. And that was strategic and on purpose. So I was cautious. I was giving little parts of my story because I still have family members that weren't where I was at. Mm-hmm. And the story still brought them shame and how dare you, and I don't, that kind of stuff. Now at 25 years clean, and I've been doing this repeatedly I spoke in prisons, I spoke at universities, I spoke in junior colleges, I spoke in high school auditoriums, I spoke in hardcore prisons and light prisons, I spoke at churches, revivals, Christian retreats, with this story. And now, no, it's not hard at all. It's not hard at all.
And let me tell you, that kind of makes sense, because at that moment, like you said, you were trying to protect them. Yeah. Because you were the one that I was setting free, not necessarily then. They were in the same place that you were. Like you said, there's a shame in the process.
And you know what? Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, please.
I was gonna say, you know what, Indita? So the parts of my story that involve my brother, my other brothers that died, my mother, my grandmother, I wouldn't say to a crowd. I had one man who knew. So I didn't hold it where it's choking me. So I did release it, but to one individual that was trusted and not to a big, large audience. So I didn't want to carry it, but I didn't want to put it all out there with my family didn't have the necessary tools to handle any kind of flack that came with it. So I didn't put it all out there, but I didn't carry it either. I had one guy, that I worked with.
Yeah, and that helped you also to remove a little bit of the weight that story has on you. That's great. I like when you mentioned that you were going back like around 5 times that you tried to get out of, and then you relapse again. So I imagine that there's people at this moment stuck on that process of addiction and that darkness that they try to get out, and they try several times, but they cannot. What can you suggest to them?
Yeah, don't quit. Don't quit. Let me tell you something. So I did say that, and I should have 31 years clean, but I have 25, and I'll take that. And the 6 years going in and out, each time I was adding shame and adding shame and adding shame. And it was reinforcing the lie, you ain't never going to be anything, became stronger. I was feeding the lie. And the lie dictates behavior. A lot of bad behavior is motivated by the lies inside of us. So I was feeding those lies. And you know, it was hard, man, because relapse happens a lot. There is a high rate of relapse. People go back to drinking or using after experiencing a period of abstinence. People return to the old behaviors, and I think I have a few reasons why they turn back. But for the people who are back, what I want to say is that there is no shame in coming back. The shame is in not coming back. And if you don't come back, you're going to die, and your family is going to get more and more hurt and more upset with you. And don't quit. You need to come back no matter who judges you or who you... Sometimes it lives in their head that people are talking and whispering and gossiping. Sometimes it's in the head, but sometimes it's real. And not everybody's going to judge you. You're going to have somebody that is going to open up their arms and their heart and be inviting and warming and disciple you or sponsor you. You got to find that person and stick to them.
But no matter what we do in life, somebody's gonna judge the color pants that you wear at some point. I mean, there's always judgment out there.
Oh yeah, Yvonne. Oh yeah.
So this may
be green pants. Yeah.
Exactly. So this may be a little redundant, but I think it's really, really important that if your story could give just one person the courage to get better in their life, what part of your story would you want them to hear the most?
Yeah, oh my God, man. There's just so much brokenness and pain. It's hard to pick one, man. My mind wants to say addiction, heroin addiction, but I got years in prison, years as a gang member, but even death, my brother died. I made a ton of mistakes in the house that got me kicked out. I have 2 kids. I have a total of 3 kids. My last kid, my daughter Sylvia, is going to be 20, and she's engaged to get married in September. And amen. Thank you. I raised her. I call her my recovery baby, meaning she's never seen her father drunk or high. Nice. My other 2 kids are 35 and 36. I only got 25 years clean.
Yes.
So my other kids have a very different experience than my daughter does with the same man. With if you was to ask all my kids, describe your father, you swear it was 3 different dudes. And my the woman that I was with at the time left me behind my drug use and took my children to another state to raise them. So that was a very broken part. Wouldn't let me see them. Left, got remarried, had 7 children, 9 altogether. And that was a very broken part. My prison years was very hurtful. But my childhood, like before 10 and down, was just, I was already filled up to my eyeballs in pain by the time. That's what turned me to the gang and drugs.
Yeah.
So now I'm a counselor, Yvonne and Dara, and my specialty is not youngsters. I work with adults, 18 and up.
Yeah.
I love working with broken adults, not men and women, and couples. But one time I was talking with a 12-year-old kid that was already smoking weed, right? And I asked him this question. I said, well, when you get a 10, 11, 12-year-old that hasn't had a lot of therapy and they don't have a whole lot of defense systems, and you ask them, why are you getting high? Just straight out, why are you smoking? Why are you getting high? Here's what they'll say: because it makes me feel good. Now, that question has a sub question: what has happened in a 12-year-old's life that they don't feel good? That they have to have a substance, a supplement to feel good.
Yeah, that's sad.
There's so much brokenness in my childhood, but my mind is saying addiction will probably be my answer to that.
Okay.
Wow. It's been fantastic to listen to you, Randy, really, to take us through your journey. And I would really like to know what's next for Randy. Is there another book, a mission or a message that you're feeling calling to share? Just promoting the book.
I do have big goals and inspirational. What I want to do next is I want to speak on larger stages. I want to have an opportunity to speak on a personal development stage, like a John Maxwell
IMC.
Yes.
Like Ryan Pineda, WealthCon, like GrowthCon, like Inspire. These are all leadership. They have these conferences that we all been to and love.
Yep.
I want to have a shot at speaking at a conference on a large level of the topic of personal development, self-improvement, and growth. I think I have a message in that world. I have a college degree. I took tattoos off. I own a home. I'm married. I travel the world. I wrote a book. I'm a pastor. So where I've been to where I'm at, I think it's inspiring and will ignite hope in a lot of people. So I want so bad. I could taste it, see it. That's why I'm closing my eyes. I want to speak on a large stage. The other thing I want to do is I want to speak at Christian revivals and retreats. I think I'm pretty good. I'm going to preach tomorrow at 2 p.m. on Zoom. So I preach sermons, but I think I'm pretty good at teaching and processing pain. Like I could have a group of 12 to 15 people and help make sense and interpret life experiences. I think I'm good at that. So I would like to be a facilitator at retreats, spiritual retreats, 12-step retreats, Christian retreats. I want to speak in a personal development. Like ISD with John Maxwell. That's a dream.
Yes.
I have not thought of a second book, and my wife tells me that I should develop a workbook as an assistant.
Yeah.
That would be
Workbook
great.
with questions and leave lines for. So my wife thinks that this is a book that you just read and highlight stuff. But my wife said, babe, I think you should write a workbook as a package to your Paying the Power.
Wise woman.
So who knows? But a book hasn't been the next goal I want to do is to speak on a really, really large stage.
Love it.
The idea of having a workbook, because it goes along with your counseling portion and mentoring, that could really be impactful for the people, because it's not just reading, it's doing the exercise and going to IMC or those type of, that would be amazing. So we're rooting for you. So,
let me ask you guys a question. I do have a question. You guys are leaders. You're in personal development. You guys are coaches, and you interviewed enough, man. Do you think I got a shot at that stuff? Do you think I can make a difference?
I
do.
Absolutely. No doubt. Because your story is so powerful.
And it's
not just the experience, and you live it from the core, like you said, just like a baby, and you have to kind of become a completely different person to be able to overcome that. So I think it could resonate with so many people. Everybody goes through pain.
That's
So
the
not
thing.
just drug.
It's unfortunately very commonplace, the pain and people working through that in so many ways. You know, I'm a financial coach, and so I deal with a lot of people who are dealing with their pain through finances, of course. So it is, we act out in different ways through pain.
Yeah. So Randy, I really wanted to thank you so much for showing us your pain. First of all, what you went through, and showing us that pain is not your whole life. It's just that paragraph of your story that then you continue to write in your book, and you have that opportunity to do it, and you use God as a part of that process to help you. So I'm really grateful that to have us in this show.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You know, your story is a reminder that no one is too far gone and too broken or too lost that so many of us feel, and that healing really is possible. And you know, that faith can find you right where you are and even in the middle of your mess.
Yes.
So again, I also want to thank you for being here. This has been fantastic. I think we could do this forever. This is so intriguing. I love this conversation.
Oh, thank you guys so much for the opportunity to let me be a guest on your guys' platform. I really do want to add value and impact lives. However vehicle God opens up for me, I'm a willing servant. But it's been a ball hanging out with you guys. I still got some things to do, but it's been great.
Yeah, well, we are going to put all your contact information and all of that in the description and all of that, so anybody can find you that needs to. All the information that you're going to give us, we'll put it out there.
Okay.
So if everybody that it's listening right now, walking through their own valley, take this as a proof. Your story isn't over. The chapter you are in, it doesn't have to define your whole life and your whole book.
No, and if the Pain to Power, that information that he has speaks to you, go grab it on Amazon, read it, share it, pass it along, because you never know who is going to need it. And of course, if you enjoyed this episode of Find Your Wise, please share, like, and subscribe.
Amen.
And we'll be back next week with another conversation to help you go through and to continue growing. This is our main goal.
Yeah, so just remember, you are not alone. Your past does not disqualify you. And sometimes the most powerful thing that you can do is to keep going.
Keep going. Don't quit.
Thank you. Don't quit. Yes. Thank you so much, Randy, for joining us.
All right. God bless you guys.
Bye.